Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Now, in this video, I actually have a specific question that I want to read out to you guys, and it is, how long should you expect to see growth after you first launch? Being that you did well in the first few days, what do you expect to see? So this is a great question. This is a question that I see all the time. And ultimately, basically, you had a great launch, but how long is that launch going to last, and what kind of growth are you looking at in your future? Well, ultimately, there's two things that you're going to look at. One is when you did your launch, how well did you do your launch? When I say how well did you do your launch, meaning did you get people's contact information? Did you have them opt in for an email list? Did you already have an audience? Is it a very temporary audience? So when I say temporary, I mean friends and family. Now, your friends are always going to support you, and your family is typically always going to support you, although weirdly, friends and family typically don't support you when you first start a business, but they're only going to support you for so long, whether your product's related or not related, or they just don't find interest in it anymore. It's typically a very temporary consumer base. So how long do you see growth after that initial launch? And ultimately, I would say that it has to do with your marketing efforts. If you have a really successful launch, but then, it spikes and then it comes crashing down, again, chances are pretty good it was a very temporary audience, and you need to go start finding a better audience. And when I say finding a better audience, you got to build an audience or use somebody else's audience. So in this case, I'm going to use a friend's company who owns a coffee company. They did very well on their first initial launch, and they're still doing pretty good, but ultimately they're starting to slow down. And how do they cope with that? Well, the first thing is, did they get emails, right? Emails are by far the cheapest, easiest way to reach people and most cost effective. So you can send out an email blast if you have a good consumer base and say, hey, by the way, we're running a flash deal. Did you forget to order your new coffee? Whatever it may be, you have to go and reach out to those people on a regular basis. If you're not adding people to your email list on a regular basis, you're eventually going to dry out that list. It's just the nature of the beast. There's only so many emails that people can take. Hint, Ty Lopez, if you're listening to this, you send out way too many emails. But if you are, a small business and you didn't do that, well, you're going to run out of business very, very quickly, because you need to capture that contact information. You need to get them on some kind of list, and you need to send out broadcasts, and it can't just be sale, 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 sale. Has to be value in there. So benefits of drinking coffee, why you need to start your day every single day the same way. Whatever it may be, you want to keep adding value, keep adding value, keep adding value. The other thing that you could do is, if your launch was good and you did get some good email lists, but you're not adding more people on a regular basis, there's typically two ways that you could do this. One, build an audience. You got to start creating content. You got to start building catchy stuff, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on social media platforms or whatever else. That's a great way to start building a following. Now, the problem with these is it's very much so instant. You have to work on it every single day over and over and over again. Even if you go the content marketing route, which I would say is kind of like a 1.5, you're still putting in a lot of content in the beginning. You're going to work a lot, I mean a lot, in the beginning to make sure that Google helps you out, that YouTube helps you out, and ultimately you're consistently growing over time. This is going to help prevent that major, major dip that may be coming for your small business. The third thing is, and this is probably my favorite, is partner up with somebody. There are a lot of people out there that have huge audiences that don't have, a way to monetize, and they're looking for a way to monetize. So, for example, if you go to any of these major channels, when I say major, I typically watch a lot of car videos. So the Stradman or DDE, or heck, I just follow this guy Robuilt, and they all have sponsors, right? And typically those sponsors are affiliates. So a company has approached them. Raycon is another great example of a company that is doing this. But essentially, a company would approach them and say, hey, we'll either give you money or give you an affiliate status. If we give you money, we just want you to put it in there, and any potential sales that you would have gotten, you're not going to make any additional money on. This is completely up to you and how you work out your agreements. The other way is, hey, we want you to put us in there, and we're going to pay you out anywhere between 5% and 30% of whatever you sell. So if you sell $100,000 worth of product on one video, well, then you just made 30 grand as the video person, and then the company made the other $70,000. This is how affiliate marketing can be used. So if you're selling a product, go find somebody with an audience. There are so many people out there with untapped audiences. The other cool part is, get a little creative. So if you are an industry specific person, when I say an industry specific, your day job is, let's just say, in the volunteer firefighter community, go find somebody with a good following in the volunteer firefighter community and say, hey, you know what? I'd love to partner up with you. We pay out 10% or 20%. And if they accept, great. hey, put us on 3 or 4 videos, let's see how they do. They're going to put you on 3 or 4 videos, you're going to see how much money you're paying them, you're going to see how much money they're bringing you, because you might say, hey, you know what, you're not really bringing in enough, and I honestly don't want to sponsor you anymore. That's fine. Like, that does happen. On the flip side of things, you might be like, oh my God, you're bringing in so much business. And he might be like, look, I know my following's awesome. Pay me more money. These are all things that you have to take into consideration. But ultimately, you can leverage somebody else's audience. So if you are launching, you could expect to see growth depending on how hard you work. It could be 1 week, it could be 1 month, it could be 1 year, it could be 6 months, it could be 5 years, whatever that number is. I would say don't pull the plug, especially if it's a business that really doesn't take much work and there is a decent amount of profit in it. Keep that thing going. Yes, it might be a little bit of a headache at some time, but keeping that business going, showing longevity, and ultimately reaching out over and over and over again, you're eventually going to have people that say, yeah, come into my ecosystem. I want you to sponsor my stuff. Or Facebook groups or things like that. I did mention that in the last video. You can say, hey, I want a sponsored post or whatever it may be. This is what we're doing. This is who it is. This is who we're going after. And you could reach out to these people over and over and over again. And then those people with these followings can help promote your product. They make money, you make money, and everybody ultimately wins. That's a phenomenal way to do it. But those are really the 2 ways that I've seen. The third way, which I really don't particularly like, is ads. You know, if you spend a lot of money on ads, ads are not a bad way to build up your business. If you have a really niche product, going after a specific industry or a specific group of people, and you can make targeted ads towards those people and you run decent Facebook ads, you might have a sick conversion rate. But that ultimately really matters on your ability to execute, their ability to absorb that content and ultimately buy, and how much money you have in each product. These are all things that you have to figure out. So if you're launching a product, right, you have your friends and family support, it's going to go way, way, way up, and then it's going to start to come back down into a realistic area. It happens all the time. I see it time and time again. And this is why so many businesses start and fail, because they see this massive level of success, and then on the way down, they get super discouraged because nobody's buying their products. Their family and friends are exhausted. They can't buy. There's only so many hoodies. There's only so many of this, that, and the other thing that they could buy. So you have to figure out, as the business owner, other avenues to sell from. Now, they may buy over time, right? Especially if you're selling a consumable product like coffee, but there's only so much coffee that they could drink. Some people drink coffee every day. Some people drink coffee every other day. Some people drink coffee once a week. You have to think about how many cups of coffee people are drinking, and if they really love your product, they may buy over and over and over again, but they might get bored of your product. That's another thing. So if you sell coffee, they might buy it for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and then they're going to fall off. They're going to get a little bored. They want something else. That's why companies come out with different products. So that way they don't lose a customer. They just sell a customer a different product. These are all different ways that you can keep your business sustained. And that whole time when this is all happening, collect those emails, send email blasts, create content, and ultimately, yeah, you're going to have a major spike. You're going to come down a little bit, but over time, you're going to progressively grow, which is the route that I really like to see people take. I like to see people have a successful launch, a little dip where they could see, okay, great, I made some money. It's up, there's proof in the concept, and now we can go and say, let's start building a consumer base. Let's start sending out those emails. Let's start building a loyal following that is going to help this company grow over time. And this is really where businesses succeed, when they follow step by step and they really go through and put a lot of time, energy, and effort. There are plenty of people out there who have made $100,000 in a day, and then they don't make another dollar for the rest of the year. Well, $100,000 in a day is pretty cool, or a week, it's pretty cool, but wouldn't you want to make $100,000 in a day and then $50,000 a month afterwards, or $100,000 a month afterwards? Like, think about that game plan in the long term. Stop thinking about, hey, money now, money today, and how I'm going to grow. Think about that long term. That's where businesses succeed. It's that long term. It's that consistency. It's showing up, doing it over and over again. 9 times out of 10, when I see a small business fail, it's because they weren't consistent. It's, oh, I got to get to this. I got to do this. I really, oh, I know I need to do this. I didn't do this. I should have done this. That's when they fail, because they're not doing what they should be doing. They're out doing things that either don't produce value to the company, they don't drive traffic to the company, or anything like that. Showing up, being consistent, doing it day in and day out. Stop treating your business like a cow where you can just milk it forever. Eventually, it's not going to produce milk anymore, and then you're going to be SOL, shit out of luck. It's just the nature of the beast. You have to put in the time, energy, and effort for your business, and that's ultimately what's going to cause it to grow. And how it's going to succeed and be sustainable for years and years and years to come. You're going to get people that love your product and will buy your product forever, and you're going to get people that kind of like your product and may buy your product if you send out a couple email blasts. But either way, you still need to be acquiring new customers, new email addresses, and interested buyers over time. That's how you're going to grow a business. That's how you're going to succeed. That's how every business that actually succeeds wins. I mean, when I say succeeds, I mean, it wasn't a Kickstarter and then it flopped afterwards. I mean, started out as a Kickstarter, found proof of concept, grew, and then consistently produced better and better stuff over time. My name is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Now, if this video helped, please hit that like button because it helps this channel grow, as I'm still trying to grow my channel. And I went through this with my channel, weirdly, to relate it back to YouTube, right? Launched all my friends and family, and then took a massive nosedive. And progressively over time, it's starting to go and do better and better. I had 150 subscribers in, October of last year. I'm at 250 subscribers now, or just over 250 now. And ultimately, as more content comes out and I help more and more people grow their business, it's going to grow too, right? It's that consistent effort. It's showing up time and time again to help it grow. My name is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell so you never miss another opportunity to grow your business. I'll see you guys on the next one. I have a bunch of content that I'm coming up with. And like I said in the last several videos, I'm doing 120 and 120. 120 videos in 120 days. Also, I'm from New York. I talk very fast, so I can do multiple videos in one day. But that's my goal. I intend on creating a ton of value for you guys. Hope these videos help, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then,